Good morning, students. Welcome to Bindu Dadwal chemistry lessons. One of the main uses of galvanic cells is the generation of potable electrical energy. So these galvanic cells are popularly known as batteries, and this is our topic for today, some commercial cells. So battery is an arrangement of electrochemical cells that can be used as a source of direct electric current at a constant voltage. Requirements of a useful battery are that it should be light and compact so that it can be easily transported. It should have a reasonable long life both when it is being used and when it is not used. The voltage of the battery should not vary appreciably during its use. So types of commercial cells, there are mainly two types of commercial cells: primary batteries or cells or dry cell, and secondary batteries. So primary batteries or primary cells, in these cells the electrode reaction cannot be reversed by an external electric energy source. In secondary cells, the reaction can be reversed by an external electric energy source. In primary cells, these reaction occurs only once, and after use they become dead, so they are not chargeable, so they can be used only one time. Whereas secondary cells can be recharged by passing electric current and used again and again. So these are also called storage cells. Examples of primary cells are dry cell and mercury cell. Examples of secondary cells are lead storage battery and nickel cadmium storage cell. So in this video we'll be covering primary cells, and secondary cells we'll cover in the next video. So primary cell or dry cell, these are used in torches, toys, flashlights, calculators, tape recorders and many other devices, and are based on Leclanché cell devised by G. Leclanché in 1868. Dry cell consists of a zinc cylinder which acts as the anode, and it is filled with a paste of ammonium chloride and zinc chloride which acts as the electrolyte. The cathode is a carbon rod which is surrounded by a black powder of manganese dioxide and carbon. The zinc case has an outer insulation of cardboard, so that even if during its use the zinc case gets consumed and develop holes, leakage may not occur. The leak-proof cells or dry cells have an iron or steel sheet covering the zinc. The working of the cell is that zinc loses electrons at the zinc acts as the anode and loses electrons to form zinc ions and electrons. At cathode, the ammonium ions will react with manganese dioxide, take up these electrons to form manganese oxyhydroxide and ammonia. The ammonia which is formed is not liberated as a gas, but it forms a complex ion, diamine dichlorido zinc. This prevents the seal of the cell to crack because of developed pressure. Because if ammonia gas is formed, pressure would have developed. The overall reaction is zinc plus ammonium ions plus manganese dioxide forms zinc aqueous plus 2 ammonia plus manganese oxyhydroxide. Otherwise, it gives a voltage of 1.2 to 1.5 volts. The second type of primary cell is mercury cell. It is used in small electrical circuits such as hearing aids, watches and cameras. It consists of a zinc mercury amalgam which acts as anode and a paste of mercury 2 oxide and carbon as the cathode. The electrolyte is a paste of mercury oxide and zinc oxide. The working of the cell is, at the anode, zinc amalgam will give electrons while reacting with hydroxide ions to form zinc oxide and water. Electrons will be released. At cathode, mercury oxide and water will take these electrons to form mercury and hydroxide ions. So overall reaction is zinc amalgam plus mercury oxide forms zinc oxide plus mercury. The overall cell reaction does not involve any ion in solution whose concentration can change. Therefore, its advantage is that its potential remains constant throughout the life, and this potential is 1.35 volts. On this basis, we can differentiate between dry cell and mercury cell. For dry cell, voltage varies between 1.2 to 1.5 volt, whereas for mercury cell, it is constant at 1.35 volts. The potential of dry cell decreases slowly and continuously as it is used. Its potential remains constant. Mercury cell's potential remains constant. But one precaution that you have to deal in the case of mercury cell is that when it is to be disposed, it should be disposed of in such a manner that it does not cause any pollution. The mercury compounds are very poisonous.